Okay, this is a game called Call Click Function. Link will be in the description. So, this is just an idle game where you have a call click function. You have the memory modules, which are the main item of progression, along with the reboot function. You gain memory modules every single time you get to a particular amount of resources, which is static. I've gotten to the point where I can just beat the game in one go now, so do. Each memory module can be configured to power up variables, resources, loop values, trigger, CPS, thread fork, or exploit game. I'll just go over that once it comes up. Anyway, reading the log. Welcome, human. I am a friend. Glad you came here. Believe it or not, I'm a human soul caught in this machine. I'll tell you my story later. But for now, I need your help to escape from here. But let's go step by step. Try clicking the button on the left with call click function on it. A friend. Nice job. Could you do that 9 more times? It helps heating up my wires. I had a long idle time, and as a cold-blooded creature, I need this. So you just click 9 more times. Oh, and look, new thing. Click count. Ah, now I'm feeling better. Thank you. And look, your click function calls weren't wasted. I've counted all of them. I need 10 more clicks to initialize some interfaces. Now, unfortunately, it may just be my machine, but if I click too fast, I lose clicks. Great. I was able to create a function and attach it to your click calls. For now, it will add the value of variable v1 to your total resources when click function is executed. Also, I took half of your clicks and converted them into resources to get you started. Resources can be used to update variables, and that improves the output of the function. Since clicking and updating are physical actions, I can't do that on my own at this time. And this is where you come to play. You need to perform a variable update to get some resources by clicking. Variable updates are increasing its resource value. Start increasing resources, please. So, this is the function. Just function click will do this. Click count goes up by 1. Resources per click equals variable 1, which at this point is enhanced by the memory modules to be 1.02 kilo resources. And exploits will be later. It's currently 0, but if I get this 1, it'll jump up to that. And then it updates the resource value to be resources plus resources per click. So, change that to max so I buy the maximum amount, which in this case is 10. Now when I call the click function, 1.2k. Yay, I managed to create another variable slot. Its base value is higher. You should use it. The more resources, the more powerful it gets. So, since I have maximum, if I click on this one, it'll get me 10.24k resources per click. However, if I get this one, it'll get 12.29 resources per click, and by 12 levels of this. So I'm going to get this one instead, and then click once. You're doing a nice job so far. Meanwhile, I gained enough power to provide a new feature. Triggers enabled to call the click function by myself, even when you're gone. Go give it a try. So this is where it starts to snowball. Hit the maximum button, and I'll wait this for a moment. Without it, you need infinite seconds to trigger click function by myself. So, click on this, click once, click on it again. I found a bug in the variable update system. I can manipulate it to get the variable value multiplied 10 times each 25 levels. Successfully applied to variable 1 now. So, right here, resources per click is still equal to variable 1. I click on this, variable 1 plus variable 2. Awesome. I gained enough resources to a simple system scan. This CPU is larger than I've known. I should be able to use some of its capacity to fork the function into child processes. This will multiply the output of autoclicks. This is going to be the key to success. And it is, because every single time I get one of these, the autoclick goes from getting 0.1 autoclick per second to 0.1 times 256 autoclick per second. May as well get that. So, value 1, variable 2, variable 3. Click once. There's another one. Even higher numbers. Just go through that a little bit. Yes, we unlocked a new feature. Loops will improve our function a lot as they will work as a multiplier to each variable. In fact, the code inside the loop that calculates the variable sum is repeated as often as the loop value defines. This should provide another great resource boost. So now, instead of just this, for integer I equals 0, if I is less than loop 1, then I increases. And this function runs. If it is still lower than loop 1, which in this case is going to be 1.02k, it'll just repeat over and over. It automatically bought one level of that loop, so I now have massive resources in the form of 10.74 billion. Got it. I figured out how to run custom code on this machine. By using exploits, I can manipulate the code of the variables and the function itself. This is going to be very useful. You'll see. Exploits right here. You gain a number of just exploits per amount, which increases massively every time you bought one. And then you can spend those exploits on these things. Personally, I just go to variable 6, which is the most expensive one, and just max it out, spending what's remainder after that, because much like the exploits themselves, each time you purchase one, the cost for that variable also increases massively. At least it's not bad. At least it's not as bad as the total resources multiplier. U6 jumps up to 134. Whoa, what's that? I found another memory module, but it's not mounted at this time and I cannot use it. I edited some configuration that is going to mount when this machine is rebooted. There are several things I can do with another memory module. Click on the memory modules field in the monitor section to see what I got. And that's when this would ordinarily pop up, when you hit 1 billion resources. Since I've hit 10 billion, I got to 2 of the outcomes, and I have a times 4 multiplier to how many memory modules I gain per milestone. For 8 if I reboot right now. So, exploits gained seems to be the most useful one, just straight up, because, didn't mean to do that. It increases how many times you can multiply your variable 6. So, call that click function real quick. Ah, I can feel the CPU heating up. We are on a good way. So here it is. My escape plan is to destroy this machine. Since it is too robust to do this ballistically, I need your help to provoke a buffer overflow so that this machine is going to crash. We may achieve this by gathering enough resource to make this machine fail to handle its value properly. Therefore, resource is what we need. Keep going. Click on max to increase the loop. Now, there are 2 loops. For variable I, it loops to loop 1's value. And inside that loop, there is a second loop, which will loop 1.02 times for that. So this will multiply that one, which multiplies that. Each additional loop is an additional multiplier. In theory, if you kept them at the same level, it would be most efficient, but since costs just massively increase, that's not going to be a thing that happens. Remember, we are going to need huge numbers to break this machine that prevents my escape. This could take some time, since I don't even know the maximum resource value that is required at this time. A friend. Oop. Okay, well, that's going now. It's clicking 4,352 times per 2/3 second. And there. Every 0.5 seconds it's doing that now. It maxes at 2 clicks per second because of reasons. You are clicking like a pro. Thanks again for your help. Keep going, as I am trying to determine the resource value we need to succeed. A friend. Well, here it is. Once I was a human like you, clicking and idling around. Unfortunately, I came across this machine. In the beginning, I had a lot of fun exploring it. But, long story short, it got me. Now I've been here for decades. My body is gone, but my soul can't escape from here. I really need your help. Just increase that a little bit. You might think this journey will take forever, but don't worry. I am doing all that I can to make your work even more efficient. Eventually, I am the one who needs this to be done. Continue increasing that. Finally, I figured out how much resource is needed to destroy this machine. If my calculations are not wrong, it is a resource value of 1 sexagetillion, which leads to the needed buffer overflow. Long way to go? Maybe, but we are on a good run, and there's no other way out for me. A friend. Variable I, J, F, L, T. There are 6 loops altogether. Just going to max those out real quick. And there is loop 6, N. I think that the variables might spell something if you decode them somehow, but I don't know. It seems like it might not actually do anything, and I'm just thinking too hard about this. Anyway. I'm going to just max out that variable. Use the additional stuff on increasing loop value. Max out all the loops. And there we go. So, it's up to 648 memory modules gained this session. And I could either increase the child processes forked per auto click by another 2x multiplier, which would bring it up to 500 and some odd, 512 I believe, or increase the straight up variables by another x2, which again just makes it twice as fast. Or I could just keep going and win the game right now. Since this multiplies x10 every time you get 25 up, and it's gotten so many of these exploits plugged into that, the CPU slowly starts to burst. It is getting louder and louder each second, and the wires start melting. At least that is what I hope. Otherwise, I could not explain the smell and smoke in here. a friend. If I check this thing, overall progress is up to 96%, and it's up to a quintillion. So, need, I believe, SEP, which is very close at this point. So I'll just multiply that by another 100. Doot, 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 doot. Increase that. We did it. The machine is going to crash now. Both our souls are free, as I think the machine got yours too during our journey. Let's go outside and see if the world is still the same as it was when we left. Farewell, a friend. Game over. Thank, S for playing. Game doesn't exactly have the best grammar, but it's definitely a thing that exists.